ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Today we continue with Indra Suktas from Sage Vamadeva, Suktam 39. This is in Trutub Chandas. Suktam 19. Eva Tvamindra Vajrin 4.19.1. O wielder of thunderbolt Indra, here in this world all well-invoked protection of the two, namely the space and earth, gratify you only. You are great is experienced in the battle for destroying the enemies like the cloud, and you are sublime. All manifested forms owe their existence to Indra, the manifested self. This is the gist of the Ruk. In other words, their strength comes from Indra. We go to 19.2. Avasrujanta Jivrayo na deva. O Indra, like aged parents, enlightened souls encourage you to cause the water to flow down. He whose origin is truth becomes the Lord of the world. Destroying the cloud which is lying enclosing the water all around, he cuts open paths for the all-feeding waters to flow down to earth. Indra manifests from the birthless Brahman, truth. Then Indra creates different forms of matter, water being one of them. Overall meaning needs no elaboration. To get the implied meaning of the Ruk and of others in the Sukta, Indra is to be taken as the manifested self and cloud as ignorance. Manifested self, destroying ignorance, reveals the happiness or bliss-giving water or knowledge. This is the implied meaning of the Ruk. 4.19.3. Atrupnuvandam Viyatam 4.19.3. O Indra, you destroy completely with your weapon Vajra the jointless or unbroken cloud which is insatiable, is uncontrolled, is not intelligent, and who cannot be awakened, who is in the drunken stupor and lying covered with 7 layers directed outwards. Cloud or ignorance has 7 layers, 5 sense organs, the mind and eye feeling, ahambhava. The self is being imagined to be enveloped by these layers of ignorances. Epithets used for the cloud in this Ruk perfectly apply to ignorance, or they are more suited to the latter than the former. Vajra stands for light of knowledge. With these clarifications, implied meaning of the Rig should become comprehensible. 4.19.4 Akshodaya Chavasa Kshama. Indra, with his own might, dries the atmosphere like wind with its strength, making it waterless. Desirous of vigor, he splits asunder the stable-looking clouds, cutting off their heads which look like mountain peaks. Indra, the sun, as well as wind, evaporate water. With this command, superficial meaning of the Rig should become clear. Abhipra Dadrujjanayo na Garbham. 4.19.5 O Indra, the clouds that look like the womb of a mother for the water particles, approach you. They come with you like a chariot. You shatter the big cloud, making the waters to flow down to earth as rain, filling the rivers and making them, the rivers, to flow. The self, shrouded with a layer of ignorance, Ajnana, is Indra, or ignorance is a part of Indra. When light of the self shatters this layer surrounding knowledge, bliss-giving knowledge, truth shines. This is like the sun's light causing the flow of water from the cloud which it was holding within. This is the meaning implied here. 4.19.6 Tvam Mahim Avanim Vishwadhenam. O Indra, for a destroyer of enemies, you make here all kinds of speeches which are great for attaining happiness. You delight the earth and its inhabitants by allowing the waters to flow down to earth and by providing food for all living creatures. O Indra, you please make us to cross the oceans smoothly and quickly. Implied meaning of the Rig could be as follows. Indra, Jivatma, helps a seeker by revealing self-knowledge so that he can cross over the sea of samsara and attain that blissful birthless state of Brahman. We go to next Rig is 4.19.7. Pragruvo Nabhanvo. Indra fills the rivers which are the destroyers of enemies, which fall along winding paths, which are ever young and are knowers of Vrita, with water. He fills the dry land and satisfies the thirst of moving or living creatures. He instills life in the fruitless wives of men of destructive nature. Here, knowers of is to be taken as sticking to. With that, superficial meaning of the Rig becomes self-explanatory. Water created by Indra satisfies the needs of the rivers of the land, also of living creatures and of wives of destroyers of nature. Puruvirushasa. Sharadascha Gurta. Indra, manifesting as the sun, causes the appearance of the moving, everlasting dawn and seasons. he thrashes the cloud and lets the waters, which were withheld inside the clouds, flow and make them flow along their courses on the surface of the earth. Indra causes the appearance of time. Rest of the Ruk needs no explanation. 4.19.9 Vamribhi Putram Agruvo Adanam, possessor of horses or spiritual light race Indra, saves the rivers in the same way as a man saves a non-giver son from his ant-hill-like home, since a non-giver is like a blind man who does not see the sun and is not able to move out. Due to his restrained movement, he is thoroughly disgusted on account of this limp eye of his body. Indra saves the rivers from drying up in the same way as a father saves a miserly non-giver son from his miserable existence. Second part of the Ruk deals with the miserable plight of a non-giver. Rivers are givers of life-sustaining water to all. For saving them from this sad plight of a non-giver, Indra is filling them up with water as implied by this Ruk. 4.19.10 Prate Purvani Karanani Vipra. O resplendent Indra, a great scholar tells you, who is highly intelligent, knowing about all your former actions in the same manner as performed by you, because they promote strength, they are agreeable and are beneficent. Sage Vamadeva is describing the activities attributed to Indra in these Riks because they are promoters of strength, etc., as mentioned here. This is to be taken as a summary of this sukta. Last Rik is 4.19.11 Nu Tuta Indra Nu Granana. This is the same as 4.16.21. We come to Suktam 20. This again Indra Sukta from Sage Vamadeva in Trushtup Chanda. Ana Indro Durada Na Asad. Manifested self Indra is fulfiller of desires, is fierce to the wicked. He overcomes his foes in conflicts and combats. He is prompt, he is a holder of Vajra in his hands, and is the protector accompanied by mighty warriors, the Marus. May he come to us for our protection, whether from afar or nearby. This introductory Ruk requires no explanation, since it mostly contains attributes of Indra. 4.20.2 Ana Indro Haribhi. May that favorite Indra come towards us for our protection and enrichment with his horses or spiritual light rays or spiritual powers. May Indra, wielder of Vajra, who is abundantly rich and great, preside over this sacrifice in our battle for gaining wealth or knowledge. Sage Vamadeva is hoping that Indra will present himself in this knowledge sacrifice. In other words, his activities are to be dealt with in this sukta. 4.20.3 Imam Yajnam Tvam Asmagam Indra. O Indra, upholding us in front, you please approach this sacrifice which is being performed by us. O wielder of Vajra, like a she-wolf winning her goat, with you may we who are devoted to you be victorious in our battles for sharing of wealth with you. Being invoked by the sage Vamadeva is imagining that Indra is approaching the sage to take part in his knowledge sacrifice. In all such type of sacrifices, wealth implies knowledge. Knowledge is recognized to be the best wealth. 4.20.4 Ushannu Shruna Sumana Upage Ushannu Shruna Sumana Upage. O possessor of food, Indra, being desirous of our welfare, in a cheerful mood, please come near and drink these sweet essences of extracted spiritual flowing soma, which have been prepared by a person endowed with knowledge and humility. Please enjoy happiness with good food, hearing the praise of a sacrificer. In the present context, essence of extracted soma could mean this hymn itself, which is born through the mind of sage Vamadeva. He is the person referred to in the Rig. He is offering these praises to Indra as oblations in this knowledge sacrifice. In the spiritual sense, essences become drops of Atmiya Soma, flowing essence of Atma. Viyu Rarabsha Rishibhir Navebhi 4.20.5. Having my mind directed towards him, I shall talk about Indra, who is adored by the present as well as earlier sages, who he is like a tree full of ripe fruits. He is like a conquering army and is happy like a husband approaching his faithful wife. A fruit tree gives its ripe fruits to people. Likewise, Indra bestows fruits of actions on each man. Indra is powerful like an all-conquering army of warriors. Indra, the manifested self, gives supreme bliss. These virtues of Indra are pointed out in this Rig. Indra is perfectly happy with the manifested universe, which is his own creation. We go to 20.6. Girirnaya Sotavan Rushva. Indra, who is inherently powerful like a mountain, is great, is fierce to the wicked, is born from mental force long before, is benevolent like a cloud full of water, became the wielder of Vajra, which is great and full of power. Ignorance forced the birth of Indra from the birthless Brahman, and hence his birth is said to be a forced one. Rest of the Rig needs no elaboration. Nayasya varta janusha navasti 4.20.7. O Indra, you are powerful, fierce to the wicked, and invoked by many. From your birth there is none like you. No one can destroy your wealth and food materials. O showerer of our desires, please do bestow upon us all wealth. This may not require any additional information. 4.20.8. Ikshiraya Kshayasya Charshaninam. Ikshiraya Kshayasya Charshaninam. O Indra, you look after the wealth and dwellings of human beings. You never strike weapons against devoted men. And you guard dwellings of the people. You are a good instructor of men. Being conqueror in battles, you are the leader of men, and you convey many heaps of wealth to them. As such, overall meaning may not need any additional explanation. 4.20.9. Kaya tatrunve Shatya Shajishtho. By what spiritual power the great scholar Indra performs noble deeds, he is well known by that spiritual power. For a liberal sacrificer, he blots out many sins and guilts, and for an invoker, he gives all kinds of wealth. The driving force of Indra is spiritual rise of the self. Since Indra is considered as the manifested form of the self, or that subtle shining form is being imagined by enlightened men or superimposed by them on the birthless Brahman. Remaining part of the Ruk is self-explanatory again. 4.20.10. Mano Marthira Bhara Dadhi. O Indra, please do not harm us. Please bestow upon us your abundant wealth so that we give admirable gifts to deserving men. O Indra, while praising you, we proclaim your noble deeds in this new worth-giving praising hymns. This is perfectly understandable as it is. We go to the last trick of the Sukta, 4.20.11. As usual, it is No Shtuta Indran No Grinana. No Shtuta Indra No Grinana. This is the same as 4.16.21. In summary, this sukta is comparatively a simple one in which most of the ruks are easily comprehensible without much explanation. We go to the next sukta, 21. Again same, Rishi same, Devdas are same, Chandas is same. Ayatvindro sa Upana iha. May Indra come to us for our protection. Being praised by us here, may that hero, ever growing in valor, be happy with us. Whose powers are as ancient as that of the sun, may his strength nourish us for subduing our enemies. Whoever Indra may be, Adhidevic or Adhyatmic, meaning of this ruk should be perfectly clear. 4.21.2 Tasyediha stavata vrishnyani to it. Indra, whose reputation and wealth are great and varied, his non-violent sacrifice is in the form of presentation of people is worth knowing. He is universally shining. He reduces all difficulties and is beyond miseries. Here Indra is to be taken as the manifested self, and non-violent sacrifice is the creation of all living creatures, including human beings. He overcomes obstacles. He is free from miseries in the absence of all things made of matter. The self cannot cause misery to Indra, the manifested self. This explanation may suffice to bring out the implied meaning of the ruk. 21.3 Ayatvindro diva aprithivya. May Indra, accompanied by Maruts, pranas, quickly come for our protection with his spiritual rays, either from the earth or from the space, or from the home of water, or from the sun, or from the faraway abode of Ruta. May Indra Jivatma, with his rays of spiritual light, accompanied by pranas, come to the bodies of human beings to protect men wherever they may be. This is the inherent meaning of the ruk. Abode of Rita, abode of Ruta is Satya, truth. Surasya Rayo Brihato Ya Ishe. 4.21.4 Who is the Lord of this great gross wealth, by whose power, which is like that of the wind, surpasses the hostile hosts in battles with enemies, in which the mighty hero exhorts his men with inspiring words? That Indra we shall praise in our knowledge sacrifices. Gross wealth is physical or material wealth. Matter and the material objects appear because of Indra. No further clarification may be necessary on this ruk. 4.21.5 Upayo Namo Namasi. Upholding the world, who prompts adoration in knowledge sacrifices for uniting all by generating Vedic words, who is the accomplisher of sacrifices and granter of rich gifts. May the sacrificers make that Indra to appear in the places of sacrifices with praiseful hymns. Through Vedic hymns, may the knowledge sacrificers describe Indra and his noble deeds, qualities, etc. This is the gist of the ruk. Part of the ruk gives some attributes of Indra. Next ruk is 4.21.6 Disha yadi dhishanyanta. Disha yadi dhishanyanta. Raising in a house of a person desiring to have a son, he and the people assembled there whenever approach Indra with praising hymns, may he come to that house. May Indra the great, shining like fire, for guarding us in our daily problems, come to a liberal donor who is devoid of anger, living in a decent house. Whenever a knowledge sacrifice is performed to honor Indra, quite naturally he comes to attend it, or his presence will be felt there. Remaining part of the Ruk should be clear without any explanation. Satrayadim Bharvarasya Vrishna It is true that A. Strength of that mighty preserver of subjects, Indra, sprinkles his invokers. B. He resides in the cave of the heart of a zealous invoker to protect him. C. He stays in his house for giving knowledge, for fulfilling desires, and for happiness of all. Here strength can be taken as the rays of spiritual light of the self. That is what keeps the invokers active. Sprinkles means wets. Jivatma resides in the heart of every living creature, activating each one of them and keeping it alive. Jivatma residing in the heart space of each one impel all living creatures and human beings, making them strive to fulfill their desire and enjoy fruits of their actions. 4.21.8 Yad Varamsi Parvadasya Vrinve. It is true that Indra cuts open paths in the cloud, and with the water flowing down from the cloud makes the rivers flow faster. When a wise man hears Indra in his house for food, when a wise man bears Indra in his house for food, he comes to know of the use of buffalo and ox. First part has been explained many times before. When a sacrificer invokes Indra for food, he is shown the way of producing food by making use of buffalo and ox for plowing the fields. Bhadra te hasta sukrutota pani. O Indra, your hands are auspicious. You are a performer of good deeds. Your arms earn wealth for your praisers and donors. What is your abode? Why do you not please us? What and why are you not delighted to give us gifts? Leaving out the attributes of Indra given in the first part of the Ruk, abode of Indra is Satya, truth. Why is Indra not revealing knowledge, truth to the sacrificers? This is the essence of the Ruk. 4.21.10 Eva Vasva Indra Satya. Thus praised by many, Indra, who is the embodiment of truth, is Lord of all material manifestations, is the destroyer of cloud or ignorance by his actions, grants for a righteous man and to us all kinds of wealth. O Indra, may we enjoy your divine protection. Indra is the protector of truth, and he is not truth. Matterless, birthless state is truth. All shining forms from Indra onwards are superpositions on this birthless Brahman by enlightened sages, trying to give an explanation for the appearance of this material universe. This is the implication of the first part of the Ruk. Remaining part is self-explanatory. We go to the last Ruk of the Sukta. Nushtuta Indranu Grinana. This is the same as 4.16.21. And here we close our today's discussion. Viramastavat.